Religion and gods. Many religions today believe in just one God. The ancient Greeks followed polytheism. They believed in many gods and goddesses. Each one had a special role in the world. Greek myths explained the origins of the gods and how they affected everyday life. Not all the gods had the same importance. The Greeks believed that Zeus was the king of the gods and had some control over all the others. Other gods managed certain parts of nature. Poseidon ruled over the sea. Hades ruled the underworld, where the dead were sent. And Helios ruled the sun. Other gods and goddesses were in charge of the seasons, hunting, or music. But the gods were not seen as all-powerful. Even Zeus had to obey the fates, who controlled what would happen in the future. The Greek gods looked like humans and acted like them too. They had faults and weaknesses, such as jealousy and pride, and if they did wrong, they were punished. Greek ceremonies and rituals were performed at altars and temples. To keep the gods happy, ancient Greeks made offerings and sacrifices. Animal sacrifices were a way of worshiping the gods. Parts of the animal were burned for the gods, while the rest of the meat was eaten by the followers in a big feast as part of the ceremony. Offerings were also made to different gods as a way to say thanks for blessings or to ask them for help in hard times. Food, drink, or precious items were left for the god or goddess at the altar in their temple. Apollo and the oracle at Delphi. Apollo was the son of Zeus and Leto. He had many strengths, including healing, music, poetry, and archery. One of his greatest gifts was the gift of prophecy, the ability to tell the future. In the Greek town of Delphi lived the python, a large snake who guarded a hole in the ground. Apollo killed the snake. The people were so grateful they built a temple there to honor him. He decided that this was the perfect spot to share his gift of prophecy. Instead of acting as the oracle himself, he shared his gift with a priestess named Pythia. He put limits on her power, though, so she would never be as powerful as him. She could not answer yes or no, but only make truthful statements. Apollo's oracle became famous across ancient Greece for her wisdom and knowledge. So, what exactly is an oracle? In ancient Greece, an oracle was a person who gave good advice and could predict the future. People believed that the gods spoke directly to them through the oracle. The oracle at Apollo's beautiful temple at Delphi was a woman. Gods of creation. For ancient Greeks, the world was created by the gods. This included not only the landscape, but even the parts they could not see with their own eyes, such as the heavens and the underworld. Through their creation myths, the ancient Greeks were able to see the world as a place with an order to it. Earth, love, the underworld, darkness, and night came first. In the Greek myths, these gods and goddesses who were born at the beginning of the universe had children who created the rest of the world. Eros was the god of love, and Nyx was the goddess of the night. Some of her children included Aether, the air, Oniroi, dreams, and Hypnos, sleep. There were different classes of gods. The 12 most powerful gods, including Zeus, Hestia, and Hera, were called Olympians because they lived on Mount Olympus. They each had their own character and domain. They had strengths and weaknesses and represented every part of human nature. Their relatives were the Titans, giants, and other creatures who were sent to live underground. Gaia was the Earth Mother, and Zeus was God of the heavens. We still use the phrases Mother Earth and Heavenly Father today. Minor gods. The ancient Greeks also prayed to other, less powerful gods who roamed earth and played a part in the everyday lives of the people. Craft workers might pray to Techne, the spirit of art and skill. There were also nymphs, who were the spirits of earth, sea, and sky. Dryads, who were the nymphs of the trees, were tied to their tree homes and died if the tree died. There were also many different types of mythical beasts created by the gods. The Gorgons, centaurs, sirens, and harpies were just some of the creatures who helped or interfered with the gods, creating problems and tension in the world. Chaos, Gaia, and Ouranos. The ancient Greeks believed that the gods created the heavens and earth and all things in them. In the beginning, there was a vast empty space called chaos. Out of chaos came Gaia, which is earth, and Eros. Gaia gave birth to Ouranos, the heavens, and she had many children with him. These included 12 titans who were powerful gods, 3 one-eyed giants called the Cyclopses, and the 3 Hecatoncheires, who each had 100 arms and 50 heads. Ouranos did not like any of his children, so he hid them deep inside earth. This made Gaia angry. She convinced the titan named Cronus to wound his father. Cronus did this, and from Ouranos' blood sprang other giants, nymphs, fierce goddesses called the Furies, and Aphrodite, the goddess of love. Prometheus. Prometheus was a titan, one of a race of powerful gods. He was the champion of humankind, and he used his cleverness to help them. One day, Prometheus took clay and made figures of humans. The goddess Athena breathed life into the clay figures. Zeus was angry with Prometheus for creating people and refused to let him give them fire. Zeus was worried that with fire, the humans would become powerful like the gods. But Prometheus felt sorry for the cold and hungry humans and wanted to help them. He found a reed plant with a stem filled with dry material that would burn easily. Without Zeus knowing, Prometheus took it with him to Mount Olympus. He went to the place where the morning sun rose and let the fires of the sun light the material inside the stem. He raced back down to earth and gave fire to the humans. Zeus was so angry that he chained Prometheus to a post and punished him. Each day, a huge eagle ate his liver. Each night, his liver grew back so he would be punished over and over. Humans and mortality. The gods and goddesses in Greek myths were immortal, which meant they lived forever. They ruled their domains for all time. Unlike the gods, humans were mortal. The Greeks believed that after their death, they would pass on to the underworld. When the gods created animals, they used the help of 2 titans. The titan Epimetheus gave the animals gifts, and Prometheus inspected his work. Epimetheus gave some animals swiftness and others strength or beauty. When humans came along, Epimetheus had nothing left to give them, so Prometheus gave humans civilization and culture instead. The underworld. The ancient Greeks believed that once their life was over, their spirits would travel to the underworld. It was called Hades, after the god who ruled it. This place of the dead was dark and gloomy. Souls had to cross the river Acheron to reach the underworld. Charon was the ferryman who transported the souls of the dead from one side of the river to the other. Ancient Greeks placed a coin in the mouth of the dead person as payment to Charon. Prevent a haunting. The ancient Greeks believed that providing a proper funeral was the way to prevent the spirit of the dead person from coming back to haunt them. The relatives would wash and clothe the body and then lay it out for people to pay their respects. Then they would walk in a funeral procession to the burial place where the body or ashes were then buried. The grave would be marked either with a burial mound or a tomb so that the deceased would not be forgotten. The family would make regular visits to the grave to leave offerings of food and drink.